We're almost to September, which means in Major League Baseball, rosters expand. Not quite as much as they used to, but we'll still see a couple of new names called up from the farm system heading to the majors and maybe making an impact for fantasy. But let's start with the good news. A guy we don't have to talk about here anymore because that means he's finally debuted. Dylan Cruz for the Washington Nationals. Now, we've seen James Wood up in the bigs for a little while. Been pretty helpful. Dylan Cruz is the number 2 prospect for the Nats, of course. A different type of player than Wood, although he is an outfielder, but this is more hit tool over power. He does have a lot of doubles power, and look, he does have upside for 20, maybe 25 home runs in the future, but he's not just purely a slugger. He also doesn't quite have the same speed as James Wood, but he should definitely be able to hit for average. So let's see how that goes. One thing with Cruz, I don't know that you should necessarily expect an instant impact, at least in terms of fantasy, being able to help carry your team throughout the pennant race here. He's been kind of slow, kind of acclimating to each level as he's progressed. Didn't shoot up the ranks necessarily. But look, you know the stats, you know the pedigree. This is a guy who's a pure hitter, and before long, he will be hitting quite prodigiously. So he was just called up on Monday, already got his first start, and I like to see that he was batting second in that lineup. He did go 0 for 3, though, in his debut, but in his second start, he already got his first major league hit, being a double. Although it's interesting that the Nats were a little more selective. They have him batting 7th this time around. He'll probably kind of move up and down based on who's pitching. And, he will get the occasional day off. But look, with Alex Call on the IL, Cruz should be playing pretty much every day. Now, of course, it's hard to say you can stash him because he's already owned in about a third of all fantasy leagues, but he's not been picked up everywhere. Not everyone wants to take a chance on a rookie this late. Not everybody has the room on their roster. And so, look, I would say obviously worth it if you're in the market for a prospect who can help you right away. And one more prospect who already debuted, pitching prospect for Detroit, another one. This time it was Ty Madden getting the call. He's the number 6 overall prospect for Detroit. And we're still waiting on Jackson Joe, but in the meanwhile, Ty Madden was called up, which was almost shocking considering how awful, and I mean awful, he's been in the minors this year. Across 18 starts at AAA, he's got a 7.97 ERA. But on the other hand, he has been punching out batters, and that's encouraging. A 27.6% strikeout rate, and that's buoyed by a 15% swinging strike rate. And that strikeout rate was over 30 back when he was in double and single A. The command, still a work in progress, but, rookie pitcher, that's to be expected. He actually wasn't that bad in his first start in the majors against Boston. He only gave up 2 runs in 5 innings, only 1 earned run. He did walk 3 as opposed to only 2 strikeouts. So mixed bag, but again, first start, not too bad. Let's see how he does the next time out. Now, I would be a little nervous even considering starting him or streaming him or anything because he gets Boston, but if he's still around for a third start, then he could be at Oakland. All right, now on to some of the non-debuted prospects, the true stashes here, guys who I can't guarantee will be on rosters anytime real soon, but I think they should be and very well could be. Been actually doing a pretty good job of nailing some guys right before they get called up, so let's not wait here. If you have room, you got an NA spot, take a chance on these guys. So yeah, we're going to go with the Angels now. And you might have seen that Johnny Cueto, that's right, the same one and only Johnny Cueto, is now starting pitcher for the Angels. Why? I mean, why not, right? What else the Angels have to lose at this point besides more games? But really, why not give one of your prospects a chance instead? Look, maybe Cueto will stick around. Good for him. Got nothing against the guy. Great pitcher once. But if they do need another arm or if Cueto doesn't last, why not give Caden Dana, their number 1 prospect, a chance? Dana's a big 6'4", kind of a burly right-hander who looks like he could be a high strikeout machine in the majors at some point. He's been doing pretty well so far in the minors, I would say. This guy's still only 20 years old, but across 23 starts at the AA level, a 2.52 ERA, a 0.94 whip, and 147 strikeouts in 135 innings. He's got a plus fastball, plus slider, and all told a 4-pitch mix. definitely could be effective. The age shouldn't really be a concern here. Again, we're looking at a team that just wants to give him a crack, see what he can do down the stretch. They'll probably limit innings. Again, this is assuming he even gets called up at all, but I mean, really, it just makes too much sense here. And the Angels really have not had a problem being aggressive in promoting some of their young prospects. Which leads me to another guy who really actually could get the call despite being drafted just this year. Christian Moore is the Angels' #2 prospect, and he's actually a top 100 prospect as well in MLB pipeline, number 80 overall. This is a powerful middle infielder who can hit home runs. He's somebody who, it might take you by surprise how fast he shoots up the rankings. Now, again, he was just drafted months ago, but did play college ball at Tennessee, and moving up quickly could be all the way up on the big club because why not? He's already been raking at AA level just in 17 games since being promoted to AA, 324, 5 home runs, 15 runs in those 17 games for the Rocket City Trash Pandas. Which, by the way, this is just another great reminder of how amazing minor league baseball team names are. Now, the same thing goes for their rotation. In this lineup, there's really nobody blocking Moore. There's no reason not to give him a shot. I mean, look, age shouldn't be a factor at this point, especially once we hit September. Give him a cup of coffee. The only concern here is, maybe it's so brief that he can't really help you in a fantasy redraft league, but 1 or 2 good weeks maybe leads to something else. Who knows? Christian Moore, definitely somebody to keep an eye on. And if there's a team that really has nothing to lose by promoting its prospects, it's the White Sox. Out there, #1 prospect is Colson Montgomery, shortstop, somebody I've talked about a while back. He still hasn't gotten promoted because he's still kind of figuring things out at the dish. So he's definitely got the tools. We know this. Right now, it's batting .210, 14 home runs, 50 RBIs, 7 steals at AAA Charlotte. So the plate discipline is getting better. He has been hitting better as of late. Again, he's racked up almost 400 at bats at AAA, so you figure it's just a matter of time, mainly in September, that they do give him the call. So we'll see. I feel like this should be a foregone conclusion, but with the White Sox, you never really know. I mean, right now the Sox are rolling out guys like veteran Nicky Lopez at shortstop. We're seeing them give a shot to young players like Brooks Baldwin, Lennon Sosa back up. Why can't Montgomery just be part of the squad already? And then finally, let me just say this. If you're still watching Beat the Breakout as we get to September with just weeks left in your fantasy league, shout out to you. I mean, look, at this point, if you don't think any of these players are really going to make the difference between winning and losing, and maybe they won't, just pick up a player you like. Just take a chance on a prospect. Have some fun with it. So let's go with a prospect that doesn't even make the top 30 for one of the worst farm systems out there. It's been too long since I talked about a Jacksonville jumbo shrimp. So let's do it. And this isn't just any jumbo shrimp. This is a player in the Marlins fandom that you should know because it's Griffin Conine, the son of Mr. Marlin, Jeff Conine. Now, statistically speaking, well, Conine should draw some interest because he does have quite a bit of power, massive power, in fact. Well, in Jacksonville for the Jumbo Shrimp, 19 home runs, 68 RBIs, and is batting .268. Not too bad. That's why they did finally select his contract. He's a Marlin officially. Now, the only issue with that is with the big swing, the big power comes a lot of big swings and misses, a lot of whiffs. But hey, he's finally cut down his strikeout rate in the minors under 30%. That's right, 29.5%, which is actually down a lot because it was in the high 30s. Oh, it was actually in the 40s at one point a couple of seasons ago. A lot of swing and miss. But hey, if he could just jack one out here and there, and I can say I had him on my squad, I'll be happy. Still here to help you win in fantasy baseball. It's telling you who to stash and also who to hold on to. I know sometimes it's tempting to ditch a veteran player who might be slumping for the shiny new toy, the hot new thing, a prospect that might help you out. But look, I talked about a few players that I don't think you should give up on just yet. And that's on this week's panic video. It's called The Hold List.